Could there be a new version of Dokken? Should there be a new version of Dokken? Hey guys, welcome back to the Bald Shredder channel. 6 months ago, I uploaded this video talking about Dokken. This video has received over 50,000 views. And in the video, I talk about why Dokken continues to tour when he struggles so much singing the old songs. It's no secret that his voice just isn't what it used to be. So in the video I talk about what's going on with Don, why does he continue to tour, and all that kind of stuff. And it's safe to say that people are interested in this topic, otherwise the video wouldn't have 50,000 views. And since people continue to watch that video about Don and they continue to comment, I still get comments all the time, weekly. And I've just had a couple of comments this week about people saying, yeah, I just went to a show and musically it was great, but man, Don just pretty much mumbled his way through the songs and sounded terrible. So that just got me thinking and got the wheels turning and just what could be done about this situation? Other than Don just retiring and saying, well, that's the end of Dokken, I'm gonna retire, no more Dokken. If that's not an option, maybe there is a better option, something that would be great for everybody. The band, the musicians, and the fans included. So I've got an idea, guys, and this is just my idea. This is not anything I've read anywhere. This is not news. I'm not saying this is actually happening. Nope, this is just me thinking off the top of my head, and I've really kind of put a lot of thought into this, and I really do think it's a good idea. So I'm going to tell you what my idea is, and then you guys can let me know in the comments if you think, yeah, that sounds pretty good, or no, that's a horrible idea, or Don would never go for that, or whatever you think. But let's just try to keep it nice, okay? All right, here we go. So since it seems that Don doesn't want to retire, he wants to continue to go out on the road to do shows. He seems to like that, right? I mean, a lot of people have said in the comments, that's the only life he's ever known. He can't just give that up. That's what he does. That's what he's always done. He doesn't know anything else. Okay, so let's go with that idea. That he still wants to go out and do shows, travel, stay in different parts of the country, go to different parts of the world, meet the fans. He wants to have that stage experience. So yes, let's continue with that. But what if we tweak that a little bit and make it so that it's a little bit better for Don, but also better for the fans who want to hear those classic songs sound the way they should sound, vocally. Okay, we know Don has complete control over the band and over the name Dokken. It is his band. He owns it outright. So Don keeps control of the band. He's still in charge. He's still making the decisions. It's his band. He doesn't have to retire. He's still going to be pulling the strings. He's still in control. But we need to swap out some members, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring George Lynch back into the band full time. He's been playing shows with Dokken. Lynch Mob is on the bill, they open, and then Dokken plays, and then he comes out and does 3 encores with Dokken. So why not just be back in the band full time? I actually think he would prefer that. Next, we bring Jeff Pilson back to the band. Jeff Pilson, currently playing with Foreigner, right? So that has kept him very busy for many years. But Foreigner, in case you haven't seen the news, they've announced that they are on their farewell tour right now. And they pretty much said that they're going to tour this year, 2023, and they're going to do some touring in 2024, and then that's it. Foreigner is done. So what's Jeff Pilson going to be doing after Foreigner is done? Well, let's put him back in Dokken with George Lynch. Then Don takes a step back from the position as lead vocalist, and we bring in somebody else to be the lead singer of Dokken, to sing those classic Dokken songs the way they need to be sung. And who do I suggest for that lead singer spot? How about Terry, the lead singer from XYZ? Why do I suggest him? Well, for several reasons, actually. First of all, Dokken produced the first XYZ album, so there's a connection right there with Don and Terry. Also, George has been doing all kinds of stuff with Terry recently. They've been performing live together. They've done some recording. There's a song on YouTube. You gotta check it out. It sounds great. George sounds awesome. Terry still sounds awesome to this day. So this is the other reason why I'm mentioning Terry. He's still got his voice. He can still sing. There are clips on YouTube, live clips of George playing with Terry, and they're doing Dokken songs, and he sounds awesome. So there's all kinds of connections there, guys. Terry's been working with George. Terry knows Don. Don produced the first XYZ album. All right, guys, so are you keeping up? So we're bringing George back into the band full time. Jeff Pilson comes back into the band full time because Foreigner's gonna be done soon. Terry from XYZ comes in and joins Dokken full time. Now I know what you're saying. What about Don? What's Don doing? Well, as I mentioned earlier, since Don doesn't seem to want to retire from the life of, going out and being a rock musician and doing shows, he can still be with the band, going to the shows, going on tour with the band. He's just not going to be out front singing all those Dokken classic songs like full-on hard rock singing. Here's my suggestion. You have Don there at the show, right? Don comes out, midway through the set maybe. Don comes out and they do a couple of Dokken songs acoustically, very mellow. So Don doesn't have to worry about singing at that high register that he just can't sing at anymore. Do like a really mellow acoustic version of Alone Again, and maybe one other song. And before you say well, that's a horrible idea, I don't think so. I think if they did that, so they come out, it's George Lynch, it's Jeff Pilson, the fans would be thrilled, by the way, to see George and Jeff back in the band, and they're doing their set, and they're about halfway through, and Don Dokken walks out on the stage. The crowd would go nuts. They'd be like, Don! There's Don! And they'd be like, Don! We love you! Holding up their lighters or whatever. So Don's still getting that feeling of, yeah, the crowd loves me. They really appreciate the fact that I'm here. He gets to do a couple of songs, wave to the crowd, say something, thanks for showing up, I really appreciate the support, and then he's off to backstage to sip his wine and relax. And then the crowd continues to get the full-on Dokken show with a singer that can sing those songs. So I really think that would be a win-win situation for everybody. For the crowd, yeah, because now, once again, after many years of not hearing those Dokken songs sung the way they need to be sung, now they are hearing them. And that's gonna sound great to the crowd. Plus, you've got George Lynch, not just playing 3 songs, but the whole set. You've got Jeff Pilson, who's great on stage. Great backing vocals, great stage presence. I would love to be in the audience and see George Lynch and Jeff Pilson officially in Dokken doing the whole set again. And if Don is there, and he's giving his blessing for this whole thing because he's there, comes out, does a song or two, everybody's happy. Like I said, win-win. Now I realize there are a lot of reasons why maybe this could never happen. Maybe Don is not willing to step back that much and have somebody else sing those songs. Maybe he does enjoy doing the whole set even though he can't really sing the songs anymore. Plus there's the whole idea of well, what about the financial aspect of it? Because Don owning the Dokken name, he would probably still expect to get the majority of the money, but yet he'd still have to pay George and Jeff enough to make it worth their while that they would say yeah, I'll join the band again, I'll rejoin the band full time. But they would expect to be paid a certain amount of money. So would there be enough money to divide up so that Don's still getting paid? You gotta pay the singer too, and the drummer, and George and Jeff, and how would that work out? So yeah, that might be a little tough. And yes guys, I do realize that if something like that did happen, that would be the end of John Levin playing guitar in Dokken, which would be a bummer because he's a phenomenal, fantastic guitar player. I love his guitar playing, I really do. But let's face it, guys, I mean, when you talk about the classic lineup, the classic era of Dokken, it was Don, Jeff, George, and Mick. And as far as selling tickets, getting booked into bigger and better shows, there's going to be more of a draw if you've got George Lynch on guitar. He's the guitar hero. He was the one that was on all the guitar magazines back in the 80s. And if you're saying well, it doesn't make sense to not have Don on vocals and only have George and Jeff, then it's not really Dokken. Think about all the bands that are out there now, 80s bands that have one original member. Quiet Riot is out there playing with only Rudy Sarzo, the bass player. and that's it. The band Autograph, they're still out there. There's lawsuits going on, but yeah, they were out there with only the bass player. And then he passed away, and now I think they're trying to play shows with like no original members. So of course, it is not unheard of at all for bands to play with one original member, or even none sometimes. So having George and Jeff in the band, yeah, I think that would be good enough. And remember, like I said, Don's still there. He's given his blessing. He comes out, he does a song or two. The crowd eats it up, they love it. Don's happy, the crowd is happy. I really think this is a great idea, and I think it would work wonderfully if they could make the money terms work out. I think it would be a lot of like pressure taken off of Don. I don't know how much pressure or stress he feels like having to go out on stage knowing that he can't sing those songs the way that he would want to. I don't know if that really bums him out or not, but if it does, man, doing something like this would just, take that pressure off of him. And maybe he'd just be more relaxed. He's 69 years old now. Most people are retired by that age. So yeah, Don, like, kick back, put your feet up, enjoy your glass of wine, and you're still going to the shows, still enjoying that life. I really think this is something that he should consider. All right, guys, so that's my idea of what Dokken should do, what Don should do, how they could keep the band going for a lot more years probably. Will something like this ever end up happening? Who knows? I don't know what any of those guys are thinking, but you never know. Let me know what you think of my idea in the comments. Is it totally crazy? Totally bonkers? Or you're like, yeah, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. Let me know for sure. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.